The bounty hunter contract of a lifetime fell into my lap. Sure, it had a few drawbacks, but most jobs did. For me, it was about the money and how it would change my life. This job would buy me a lot of happiness. I doubted my target would be thrilled to see me, but I didn't care. I wasn't out to make friends. I was a lone wolf. Sort of. Like Koi are part wolf and part werecat. I also wasn't technically a lone wolf. My uncle's pack was prominent, and I did just fine existing on the fringes of it. But I needed this contract. I told myself it would be fun at the paranormal hotel. I repeated it several times because fun was not something I was having at the moment. Pushing a Harley 1200 for half a mile on an old country road outside Sleepy Hollow, New York, was not the best of times. I kept hitting potholes that blended in with the darkness, but I had to get the drop on some werewolves. It had seemed like a good idea at one point, but I was having second thoughts as sweat beaded across my forehead. I tucked Miss Kitty into the shelter of a side alley and threw the tarp I'd brought over the sleek motorcycle. It would either be here when I returned, if I returned, or it wouldn't. I gave my ride a final pat and slipped into the nighttime shadows near the alley entrance, staying downwind and praying the whiskey I'd splashed over myself would mask my scent. A woman, and worse, a Koi, didn't just walk into a place frequented by dominant bikers. It was especially true in a small town where everyone knew one another. There were protocols to follow and introductions to be made before approaching a one-percenter, and I doubted anyone would step forward to sponsor someone like me. I was used to working alone and under less than optimal conditions. Once I lured my target from the hotel paranormal and turned him over to my client, I'd have everything I'd ever wanted. Soon I'd have a one-way ticket away from pack prejudices and a new life as a financially secure recluse. I flicked my tongue along my lips, tasting the freedom this deal would bring. Half a block stood between me and my future happiness, but it might as well have been a mile for all the good it would do me. From the alley to the bar, there was no cover, no shadows to absorb my presence. I'd scoured the surrounding area for another entry point to no avail. Barred windows and a padlocked back door thwarted me. I had one shot at getting inside before anyone could stop me, and that meant waiting until the barkeep kicked the last of his patrons out at closing time. While they were busy getting on their bikes, I'd make a mad dash to the front door. I was grateful the street was deserted at this hour, but it was almost too quiet. One stupid move on my part could mean disaster. I calculated the distance from where I stood, hidden in the alley, to the bar's entrance, and figured I'd probably be fast enough to make it as long as the wolves were so drunk they wouldn't notice me until it was too late. It was a long shot, but the only one I had. Wolves were quick, even inebriated ones. Their metabolism burned off alcohol within minutes of downing it, which meant my window of opportunity was about the size of a mouse hole. In my Koi state, I was faster than a wolf. I'd honed that particular skill long ago with all the times I'd been chased, but I couldn't go Koi. Paws didn't lend themselves to turning doorknobs, so I'd have to do this the hard way. Nothing new there. I leaned against the brick wall and let the cool autumn air soothe my restless body. My calf muscles twitched and my stomach rumbled. It was tempting to give in to the urge to transform and run through the woods I'd passed on the way into town. Maybe even hunt a bit of rabbit. I let out a slow breath and resisted my primal desires. I counted 4 bikes outside the bar. Mother's might be a neutral, no-colors establishment, but I still had to get past the owners of those bikes. 4 big-ass obstacles between me and the portal to the Hotel Paranormal. I knew portals existed in most major cities, definitely in Manhattan, but of course my only way into the hotel would be through a wolf biker bar. My luck ranged from bad to stinking bad. I was long overdue for a bit of good luck, but I didn't look for that to happen tonight. My usual mode of blending into the background to avoid attracting attention wasn't going to work here. There were no crowds to lose myself in, and the glaring neon sign covering 3/4 of the bar's facade was a beacon spreading a swath of red across the sidewalk. Anyone wishing to enter the bar would be doused in light. This had to be the hotel's idea of a joke. Maybe it was a test to see if I was a good bounty hunter.